If Easter egg hunting was an Olympic event, I would have a gold medal by now. Not all current events are controversial. Unfortunately, even a fun event such as the White House Easter egg roll was mired in satire as the Washington Post published an op-ed piece by Alexandra Petri regarding the 139th White House Easter egg roll. The satirical observations were intertwined with this popular activity that has taken place every year since 1878 on the Monday following Easter. I thought my classmates would be interested in the story to see how a seemingly innocent event has become politicized. Some of the fun facts, and I say fun facts in quote, in Miss Petrie's op-ed included when the White House was considering eggs for the event. She stated Fabergé eggs were not initially considered but rejected as too Russian seeming. She further stated, "This is a baseless rumor, just as everything to do with Russia is." These are the actual Easter egg souvenirs given out by the White House on the Easter egg roll this past Monday. Further, as another observation made by Ms. Petrie, she stated protesters who complain that President Trump is hiding his tax returns from the American people are wrong. She added, "He's not hiding them. They are readily available to any child who hunts carefully enough, concealed inside an egg that has been camouflaged somewhere on the White House grounds." Here's a photo of a little tyke finding one of those eggs now. As a matter of reference, regarding the history of the public egg roll, some historians note that First Lady Dolly Madison, the wife of President James Madison, originally proposed the idea in 1810. Young children in Washington, D.C. will flock to Capitol Hill every Monday after Easter for egg rolling and a day of activities. Members of Congress grew tired of the growing crowds, and literally an act of Congress was enacted to prohibit egg rolling on the Capitol grounds. The event was then moved to the White House in 1878 after President Hayes was approached by young children to use his backyard to roll eggs. Nearly every Easter since, the White House has invited young children to roll eggs on the White House lawn. Ms. Petrie's historical interpretation differs a bit when she wrote the White House Easter egg roll is a tradition that started with Rutherford B. Hayes and is still going for some reason. Maybe someone with a very particular set of interests realized there was no other way to get photos of every president standing next to a terrifying giant rabbit? This is one of the many things, she continued, that make people think that being president must be an easy task for simple, jolly folk who enjoy reading books to children and looking on with glee as youngsters roll eggs across a lawn. Perhaps it was one of these photo ops that convinced Trump that he was temperamentally suited to this job. In order to attend this free event, a ticket must be obtained through a complex ticket lottery, which can be found at recreation.gov. There are 12 federal agencies that participate in recreation.gov. 7 of these partner agencies include the Army Corps of Engineers, Forest Service, National Park Service, Bureau of Land Management, Bureau of Reclamation, Fish and Wildlife Service, and the National Archives. Also involved in the planning is the White House Military Office, who assists in social events that take place throughout the year. The White House Easter egg roll is one of the oldest presidential traditions and one of the largest annual events hosted by the administration. Unfortunately, this year, the seemingly innocent event hosted by the President and First Lady drew barbs, such as this one, protesters, as seen in this picture, and criticism, including those made by Ms. Petrie, stating that the White House Egg Roll 2017 was not hastily put together a slapdash. It arrived exactly when it wished to and was more crowded than ever, no matter what the pictures imply. Such as this photo, which shows a huge crowd surrounding the president, or possibly this photo, taken at a different angle, was the one she was referring to as that of a smaller crowd than what was originally reported. Although I've enjoyed the famously outlined events that occurred in President Trump's 100 days and that which was depicted in Ms. Petrie's op-ed, it saddens me that much of it had to be released as part of the White House Easter egg roll. I also wonder why and when did Easter become so politicized? But then that would be a discussion best left for another day. The facts of my story are based on the ability to poke fun at oneself regardless which side of the aisle you identify with. No matter how hard we try to find common ground through compromise, especially with an event such as the White House Easter egg roll, we are a long way off before we hippity hop down that road to bipartisanship. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and the next information that you'll see concerns the actual article, as well as a little bit more history about the Easter egg roll at the White House. And here is a brief history of the White House Easter egg roll and some of the photos that go back to the early 1900s.